Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to European Research Day Thailand. This is the third session. My name is Jenny Linda Mako. I am here with my colleague from EURAXESS ASEAN, Dr. Susan Renzo Vasu. And today we have a very special program for you. You're going to hear from the NSTDA, the dynamic leadership of the NSTDA, and we're going to hear as well from scientists, Thai researchers and scientists who are doing excellent work with European partners, and this is really for scientific collaboration for the betterment of the world. So at this point, it is my honor to introduce to you, and really this dynamic woman has been a force. She's been not only a leader, but really a guide, a guiding star for researchers in Thailand. So it is a pleasure for me to introduce, to give the opening remarks, Dr. Lily Eurwilaichitr, the Vice President for International Collaboration of the NSTDA. Good afternoon, Dr. Lily, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Jenny. Thank you very much for the very nice introduction. And good afternoon and warm welcome to the final session of the European Research Day. My organization, the National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA, is very pleased to be co-organizing today's event with the European Commission, the EU Delegation to Thailand, EURAXESS ASEAN, and Mahidol University. I'm very pleased by today's turnout. This is a clear indication that Thai researchers want to work with European partners, and I find this very encouraging. So please let me provide some context of this afternoon session, which I hope will not only stimulate some discussion, but give you some encouragement. So international research collaboration has never been more important, and we are living through that has been called the worst pandemic in more than 100 years. And what has been made very evident is that no one country can mobilize the resources, technical or financial, to confront and deal with COVID-19 alone. So scientific collaboration is therefore essential. Working with other countries can provide access to valuable additional expertise and infrastructure, and it shares costs and help avoid duplication of effort. So we must work together if we are to have any chance of addressing global challenges, whether it be COVID-19, climate change, food security, or any other challenges. So yesterday you heard about a wide range of European research mobility and cooperation opportunities. And this afternoon, you will have an opportunity to learn from my colleague, Dr. Png Yong Chia, Dr. Narisorn Kitiyanant, and Dr. Chibi Panrampöy Namprajan on how to find a European research partner and how to prepare a successful application and how to manage your own research project. So I encourage all of you to take full advantage of this afternoon discussion in order to develop your own research project with partners in Europe. And please learn from the experience of Dr. Phaik, Dr. Narisorn, and Dr. Chibi. And please ask lots of questions. As they will tell you, the benefits of conducting research with partners in Europe are enormous. In closing, I would like to wish you a very successful roundtable discussion, and very confident that as a result of this European Research Day, we will see substantial increase in the number of joint research projects involving European and Thai partners. So remember, good proposal do get funded. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lily, for that wonderful introduction. As I said, the European Research Day is an annual flagship event of EURAXESS ASEAN in partnership with the EU Delegation in Thailand and the National Science and Technology Development Agency. This year, we are also happy to have the support of Mahidol University. So without further ado, I'd like to turn the room now to my colleague, Dr. Susan Renzo Vasu, for this dynamic exchange among scientific fellows and researchers. Susan, thank you.
Thank you so much. Jenny. Yes, my name is Susanna. I'm Jenny's colleague responsible for Southeast Asia, and it's my pleasure to guide you through this dialogue discussion today. And I just want to very briefly introduce you to the people you'll be hearing from today. We have three fabulous people who will share with us their experience of working with European partners, securing European research funding, and giving us tips and advice on how to go about establishing these collaborations and why this is of benefit to your research career. And maybe I will introduce them here in turn. We have, and I've seen her already, Dr. Jibi. Maybe, Jibi, if you want to quickly just say a quick hello to our audience today.
Hi, everyone.
Where are you joining us from today?
Okay, I should have said bonjour from Paris.
Excellent. So we have with us Dr. Jibi. She is currently at the Institut Pasteur in France, and she really is shining a very strong, bright light for Thailand. She is a Marie Curie Fellow. She is also, of course, working with biotech. She's an expert on vaccine research, and we will hear all about her research, the collaboration that she's also managed to establish between Thailand and France in her presentation in a minute. And our second guest today is Dr. Narisorn. Dr. Narisorn is also a MSCA fellow. Narisorn, you want to quickly tell us where you're joining us from today?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm joining from Mahidol University from Salaya campus. So yes, in Nakhon Pathom, not in Bangkok. And Tipi said to you bonjour. So I have to say to you guys, Sawadee krab.
Sawadee krab, good morning. And Dr. Narisorn, as a Marie Curie Fellow, was working in two European countries that may not be, traditional, classical. He was researching in Denmark and in Hungary. So I'm very excited to hear about his experience, what it's like working and carrying out research in those European countries. And our third speaker today, we've just seen already, is Dr. Cheah. Dr. Cheah is with the Mahidol Oxford Tropical Medicine Research Unit. So are you joining us from Mahidol this afternoon, Dr. Cheah? You need to unmute yourself, I'm sorry. There's a little microphone that needs to be green. There is a little microphone on the menu, and it needs to be green. Do you want to try again? Hello? Nope. I think she's just figuring out. So she is, I think, also in Bangkok, so not far away, but obviously not close enough for us to hear her without a little bit of IT support. I think don't worry about it right now. I think we'll probably just start with the first presentation. I know that Narisorn has prepared a presentation, and I'd like to invite him to just maybe start the discussion this morning. Narisorn, I'm giving the presenter rights to you, and then please, okay. The floor is yours.
Okay. Oh, it asks for the permission from my computer. I have to click it on first.
Suzanne, if I may, I think you need to give him presenter status. Maybe
he
it's
has
just not limited.
He has the presenter status.
I do have. Yeah. Yes, but from
there we can see it.
Yes. Okay. So I just want to share you guys about the experience and my lesson learned from the project I joined from the framework 7 of the Marie Curie action. Okay, so and this is my experience for the European grant. The first one, as mentioned earlier, the STEMMAT project. Oops, sorry. The STEMMAT project is about the stem cell derived model for Alzheimer's disease and neurodegenerative disease. And it is a part of the framework 7 of the European Commission. And right now, if you cannot find the IAPP or Industrial Academia Partnership and Pathways anymore in Horizon 2020 or Horizon Europe, you're going to find it at RISE, the Research Innovation Staff Exchange. Okay. The next one is my experience with the Franco-Thai. I guess you guys heard this morning from Lisa Lufstrong about the support from the French embassy. So this is the mobility one as well, the PhD Siam or the joint program for mobility. So with this one, I work with the University of Nice, Sofia Antipolis. And for the STEMMAT project, I will have to show you something first. This is the slide to show you how the European Commission just evaluate your research proposal. This is an important part if you want to apply for the Horizon Europe in the near future. So the first one is the science and technology quality. So this is about the scientific concept, and you have to present them about the concept, the objective of your proposal by using state-of-the-art of the technology to answer the research question. And also you have to very well organize for the work plan. So the next one in the middle column is the implementation. So this is to show how we're gonna manage the program, and also how each individual participant from each partner gonna join and gonna experience from the program, and also they're gonna look for the resources to be used in the project, such as the budget and the equipment. And the last one is the impact, as it is a part of the European Commission funding. So when as a Thai researcher, you have to think as well the impact, not only for Thailand, it is also for Europe and also for the global, the whole world impact. And in the impact as well, you have to consider about the dissemination and how to manage the intellectual property if it occurs in the project. And okay, this is about my project. It was the STEMMAT, as the name here, the full name, the very long one about the Alzheimer's disease, as I mentioned earlier. So the main concept is to reprogram the somatic cells or adult cells to turn to be the pluripotent stem cells or the iPS cells. I guess you guys have heard about the iPS cells, as Professor Shinya Yamanaka from Kyoto University got the Nobel Prize in Physiology of Medicine in 2012. And then we will reprogram the iPS cells into neural progenitor or neural stem cells and drive them to be the mature neuron to use as a disease modeling for neurodegenerative diseases. And this is how we prepare for the science and technology quality. So this is a part of our proposal when we submit to that. So the overall aim of the grant is to generate the iPS cells and use it as an in vitro neural model to study the disease progress and to study how to cure or to prevent the neurodegeneration. And the short conclusion about the methodology. And as well here, we have to think about the transfer of knowledge as well. So within this program, in the lower part of the slide, you can see that we have both academia, and we have the SME in Europe, Biotalentum in Hungary, and Bioneer company in Denmark. And for the academic partner, we have University of Copenhagen, University of Saget in Hungary, and of course Mahidol University in Thailand to join this project together. And when we have, when you gonna prepare the proposal, it would be better if you have like the abstract, the graphical abstract or graphical diagram to show the evaluator what you're gonna do, so they can easily get your concept from that. Okay. And of course, this is the implementation, how to manage the project and the partner. As I mentioned to you earlier, these are our 5 partners. And this is how we manage as the IAPP or Industry Academic Partnership and Pathway, foster and develop the exchange between academia partner and the company. So we have to think very well who gonna go from each academic institution to work in each company. So this is how we organize it. We have to call it as a, I'm sure that the Thai people do not quite familiar with the word secondment. The secondment is the thing is to represent the mobility, or you go to another place to do the research. So they divide into 3 groups of the researchers. The first one is the ESR or early stage researcher, which has experience less than 4 years. And in this context, we mean this would be the PhD student. Okay. And the next one is the ER or experienced researcher. This one gonna be like the postdoctoral level. And for experienced researcher is the project manager. So this is how we organize. So in my project, we can support the PhD student to work in Hungary for 2 persons and 1 PhD student to go to Denmark, and also 2 postdoctoral and 1 postdoc, 2 postdoc to Hungary and 1 to Denmark, and just only 1 experienced researcher, and it's me. Okay, and this is their impact. So it would be better to show the evaluator and the European Commission how your proposal gonna benefit and impact to the world. So we divide them into short term, mid term, and long term. So for the short term, we will talk about the basic things in the lab, like the development of their iPS cells. And then for the midterm, we're gonna have to do the standardization, develop the protocol for the iPS cells, and then use it for the drug screening. And for the long term, we can develop the iPS cells to test the natural compound as well, to check the molecular mechanism of the disease as well. So this is how we prepare, in short, to the proposal. And for the impact for this project, so we at the end of the project for 4 to 5 years. Actually, it is 4 years, but we have some technical problems, so we have 1 year extension. It is not that technical problem. I would say that the European Commission pay attention to people. So one of our researchers did the maternal leave. So the Commission decided to extend the period of her maternal leave for 1 year. And at the end of the project, we have more than 30 publications from the consortium. And we also have to train or to develop the soft skill for researchers by other training sessions. For example, like the business technology transfer, the ethics and gender, in which the European Commission pay high attention to the equity as well, and for the proposal writing and how to manage the program as well. And yes, and as this one is the part of the Marie Curie action, We also do have the Marie Curie alumni as well. And Jenny is now the chairperson of the Southeast Asian chapter. And we have I myself and Dr. Rathadak Rangsiviwat from Srinakarin Vilod University to serve you as a country representative. So if you guys have any questions or if you are in doubt and need help, you can feel free to contact us to ask for help about the preparing the proposal or even any other thing. So that I would like to share you in the first session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Narisorn. That was very inspiring. And there are a couple of questions, but one key question that researchers that are listening today are always concerned with is how did you get the whole process started? You're talking about research partners in Hungary and in Denmark. Now, if you're a researcher in Thailand, how do you reach out to European partners? How did you start your process in developing this network?
Okay, this is a very good question. And this question is popular among every time when we organize the meeting or the webinar for European Research Day. The first thing for me, to my experience, I went to academic meetings or academic conference. And if we find any interesting person, so we can contact them and talk together. For our partner, Professor Paul Hittel from University of Copenhagen and Professor Andras Dinjes from Hungary, we know each other for more than like 10 years before starting this project together. And of course, we know each other in the academic meetings. Because 10 years ago, I don't know whether we do have the EURAXESS platform at that time or not. But right now, it would be much easier. You have many portals like EURAXESS. You can go to EURAXESS website and you can file for the available position or available project. And then if you are interested, you can contact the PI for that.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, there is a lot of information available online now. The EURAXESS website itself, I think, is a great tool for researchers that are interested in identifying potential collaborators. We have a hosting database on the EURAXESS portal, and I'll probably show it at the end of today's discussion. Now, Narisorn, there was another question. You mentioned that you had, I think, 3 PhDs on your project. And someone is asking, was that just from your side or was that the total number of PhDs on the project?
The total number of the PhD is more than 10 students, more than 10 PhD students, but some of them are not from Mahidol. Of course, they would be from University of Copenhagen to do the secondment to work in Hungary, and the PhD student from Phaik as well to work in University of Copenhagen. Yeah. And with the technical problem, so we cannot get any PhD students from Europe to work in Thailand because the limitation of the consent form, so they cannot distribute the cell line from Europe to Thailand. So we have to send our PhD students to go there and work with the cells there.
Thank you so much. So we've already heard it's important before you start this process of applying for Marie Curie Fellowship is to build your network with European partners because you need a host. You need a host in Europe that will facilitate you there and your research stay there. And as Narisorn has already highlighted in his presentation, you need to find a research topic that is of interest, not just to yourself, to your specific community, but that has implications kind of for wider research questions. And that, of course, is of interest to the Europeans that you want to work with. So it has to be a mutual beneficial relationship where both the host and the researcher are learning from each other. Again, to our audience members today, please type all your questions and I will relay them to the speakers today. And with this, maybe we'll turn to our next presenter. And I would like to invite Dr. Jibi from Paris to share with us her experience as a Marie Curie Fellow. Jibi, I will make you the presenter. Just give me a second.
Okay.
And, yes.
So, to just the window. Okay. Up. Does it work? It worked before when we tested. Does it work? No. Okay, go. I'm sorry. Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry. So I mean, I can talk a little bit. Since Dr. Narison's already covered the how to prepare the the proposal and everything, I have to maybe share with how to find a partner. My Marie Curie is the IF, which is an individual fellowship. So the grant is just for me and the work that I propose. So my grant does not cover extra student or researcher in this case. I'm gonna try again. So I share. No. I'm so sorry. I clicked sharing, but it does not want to share.
You just quickly send it to me as an email and I can share from here. Just send it to me as an email and then you can start talking and I'll share as soon as I've received it. That is just the modern world of virtual reality, but we're all used to it, so.
We tested it. Okay, maybe this would work.
Yes.
Share again.
Let's try again.
It does. No? Does it? No.
Well, we can
yes,
see yours. We can
you can
see
go
your.
to the, yeah, you can play your slide now.
And then, okay.
Yes,
Oh.
and you can move it.
But then I don't
Perfect.
see anybody else. Okay.
That's perfect. Please go. Please go. Please
Okay,
start.
so I would like to share how I coming into the European grant and how do I know about this. It started a long time ago. I mean, I presented slide before with the Marie Curie information session, which it's interesting that I was in this information session in 2012. That was like 8 years ago. That was a long time ago. At that time, I was just a newly graduate postdoc that just came out of school. I graduated from the US, so I don't know anything or any partners in Europe. So when I went to this information, I can see that there's so many grants and so many fellowship from Europe, but the first thing is we need a host or a partner. So then I just kind of pin that point that, okay, I need a host, I need European partners to earn this grant, to apply, to be able to apply to this grant. But I didn't even think of it because at that time I just started working at NSTDA. So I was just setting up our project. At that time, our lab is the virology and technology lab. We working towards the finding vaccine for a PEDV, which is porcine epidemic diarrhea virus. And this is also a coronavirus, which will come in handy later on, which I'll tell you about it. And then in 2013, EURAXESS have this Science Slam event that you get to present your work in a fun way. So which I get a chance to meet with Suzanne, and this project is to present science in whatever way that you want to present. So what I did a rap music for my PDV vaccine project, and I happened to won the ASEAN Science Slam from EURAXESS. And then the prize is that I get to go to participate in a conference in Belgium by EURAXESS. So once I was in Belgium, I was like, okay, I'm already in Europe, but I don't know what's going to happen yet. But I know in the back of my head that I need to go find a partner to be able to put a proposal or application for the European grant. So I asked EURAXESS to maybe if you could connect me with someone, to just go visit a lab. So they connected me with Institut Pasteur, which is because my work is a vaccine. Institut Pasteur is known for a vaccine institute. So then once I got there, I get to talk to my current boss right now. We discussed for 30 minutes, but when you click, you click. So I asked him if he interested to submit a proposal for Thai Fungal Fellowship, because it's good for him because he doesn't have to pay anything. He only have to support me with this expense in the lab, but the Thai Fungal is supporting me for the accommodation and the salary. So we submitted and I got granted. Then I was joining Institut Pasteur in this 5-month short Thai Fungal Fellowship. And then once I'm in the lab, now it's easy for me. So I can see once I'm there in the Institut Pasteur, I get to see it's open a lot of opportunity. So I see what we can develop together. And since my work is PDV and PDV at that time is there's an outbreak in Asian only, and then in 2013 there's an outbreak in the US. So then my proposal is that, okay, let's Thailand, since we have seen PDV and the Institut Pasteur, you have a vaccine platform. Maybe we can combine this together, and then we can start developing a vaccine for PDV. So then we submit this proposal in 2016, and then actually during 2016, I also get a chance to go to Germany to participate in a science communication, which also supported by EURAXESS. Seriously, I have to thank EURAXESS for everything here. And then we got granted for Marie Curie in 2017 with the PiggyVax, which is the vaccine platform from Institut Pasteur, and PDV knowledge from Thailand. So this is an important thing for developing a proposal it's the two-way transfer technology, which means we both sharing the knowledge. Like my proposal, we have a PDV knowledge that in Europe, because in Europe there's no outbreak at the moment, which I hope there will be no outbreak. And then Pasteur Institute has the platform. So we combine the two knowledge together. So it's just we sharing our knowledge. So I think that's why it's important part that why my project is got funded. So this is on my timeline on how I become or get granted by Marie Curie IF Fellowship. So, and now currently since we have a connection between Institut Pasteur, now we have a biotech also have now got granted with the RISE project on the Safe Aqua, which is now I'm currently in Paris working on the Safe Aqua project as well. And with the knowledge of PDV with the coronavirus, that's also a part that I now get involved into developing the coronavirus vaccine at the Institut Pasteur. So it's a long story. It's been 8 years in the making, but please don't discourage when you get into this information for proposal or European Fellowship, and then when you start and you have no idea where you're going to go about it, how would you start? Because in 2012 I have no idea either, but once you have this information, you can also slowly find my way. Look at me, I took 5 years to slowly find my way to Marie Curie Fellowship. So this is what I would like to share with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gibi. And I think that was a great story because it really shows how the fellowship kind of leads you on a different career track and just leads to so many more opportunities. And as you've just mentioned, you were saying you're involved in the RISE project. Now, for those of our audience members today that don't know this is a different Marie Curie action. This is about staff exchanges. So this is an opportunity to work with different institutions across the world, across Europe, on kind of a joint project and to exchange staff, so for people to move between the different institutions, to learn from each other and to exchange best practice. So a great story how, you've taken the plunge, you use the opportunity to get your feelers out, to create your network, and then really one thing led to the other. And we have a few questions. People are primarily asking, are they eligible for this? People always hear this is a European Fellowship. It's particularly prestigious. It's very competitive. So should Thai researchers apply? Maybe Narisorn, what is your kind of your message to people that are kind of hesitating right now?
Of course, I would encourage Thai researchers to apply for the European research grant, especially for the Marie Curie actions, because it is a part of the mobilities. And if you attend this morning session from the member state of the European Commission, you can see that almost each government of each country gonna provide you as well for the mobility of the researcher. So this is a part of how we develop our research career, go to learn new things and explore new things. And if we can do the transfer of knowledge, we can transfer them back to our country to develop our country as well. And in some instance, our or your European partner may not have like something we have in hand as well, so we can do it exchange in bilateral as well.
Yes, thank you. And of course, this is a program that is open to researchers of all nationalities. And even though you may be based in Thailand, but you are of a different nationality, like one of our audience members who is from India, but working in Thailand, this has no implications on the application procedure as long as you have a valuable research idea and you have this host institution in Europe to work with. This is really open to applicants from anywhere. And the interesting bit, this is a bottom-up fellowship, which means you come up with the idea. Now, maybe Gibi, Narisorn was already alluding to this. You're still very much working with your colleagues in Thailand. So you haven't just left for France and that's it. Maybe how important is also this project for you to create this collaboration between France and Thailand?
So to me, I feel like I'm the link of France and Thailand, because during the COVID vaccine, I mean, because the lab in Thailand, we study a lot on the antigen that would develop, would stimulate immune response in the coronavirus vaccine. So we use this same, I mean, during my experiment, I would talk back and forth with my Thai boss too and my French boss to just, what do we do? How do we design the vaccine? How do we design the antigen? So it's a great, to me, it's feel like me being there, it just, we connected to two countries and two laboratories together from two continents. So it's a great, I mean, it feels great because I feel like my lab is bigger. It's not just my French lab or Thai lab, it's just the French Thai lab. So it's good feeling.
Well, that's excellent, because I mean, as we keep hearing and as we can see, I think with this pandemic, that really research is so global, right? And only through international collaboration can you really try and come up with solutions. Now, I will try and invite our third panelist, Dr. Cheah, now to join us. She, I hope she is ready to share her story with us. Maybe while she gets ready, JB, on your application process, what do you think would be kind of the most important aspect that you would give as advice to researchers that are listening today? And what is the foundation the foundation work you need to put in to make sure that you have a chance at securing this fellowship?
I think what I mentioned before, the two-way technology transfer, the knowledge transfer, we need to show as well that what we can bring, not just what we can go there and take. So it just sharing the knowledge, this is I think is almost the key, and also the impact from the knowledge sharing, that later on the impact can benefit both continent. I think this would be the main important part of the proposal.
Thank you. And I'm inviting now Dr. Cheah to join us. I think we can hear you, Dr. Cheah. Would you like to switch on your camera?
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
What is, I'm dialing with my phone and I can't find the camera now. So maybe the audio, I have no idea how this works. So what about we just use the audio? I can't find my camera on my phone and I can't find the audio on my laptop.
That is fine. We can hear you.
Okay, you've got my slides, yeah?
I'm showing your slides now.
Okay, have you got slide 1 up?
Just give me a second.
Excellent, okay.
Your slide 1 is up, yes?
Okay, thank you. I shall start then. Yes, shall I start?
Just give me a second, just 1 second. Yes, please start. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful conference. So my name is Png Yong Chia. I work at the Mahidol Oxford Tropical Medicine Research Unit. And today I'm going to talk about a project funded by the EU Horizon 2020. It's called the SoNAR-Global project, which is a global social sciences network for infectious diseases, threats, and antimicrobial resistance. I'm based in Bangkok. Well, I'm at home at the moment, but my office is at the campus near Victory Monument. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about where my unit. So it's called Mahidol Oxford Tropical Medicine Research Unit. It's a collaboration between Mahidol and Oxford universities. We've been around for more than 40 years. Our research typically revolves around tropical medicines such as malaria, melioidosis, antimicrobial resistance, and most recently, COVID. Although we're based in Thailand, Bangkok is our hub. We work quite a lot in Southeast Asia and South Asia, and we have quite a lot of research work in Africa as well. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about my team. My team is called the Bioethics and Engagement Team. I have team members here in Thailand, Cambodia, and Oxford. So together we support ethics and engagement work around the MORU Tropical Network. So this involves things like community involvement, community participation, science arts collaboration. We have village drama projects on malaria. We go to communities, we talk to them. What we do is try and embed community voices in research. Next slide, please. So now about the SoNAR Global project. There is an increased recognition that social sciences are important in infectious diseases. The emergence of AMR and disease outbreaks are never exclusively a biological phenomenon. So there's a recognized need for social sciences insight to evaluate linkages between infectious diseases, political, economic changes, ecologies, mobilities, local communities, and marginalized people. We need to comprehend underlying logics of popular reactions to infectious diseases threats and interventions to control. We need to understand the institutions and stakeholders engaged in infectious diseases and their communication channels and responses. These social sciences aspects are highlighted in a wide range of approaches and are embedded in many international guidelines. We also know from COVID that COVID is not merely a biological infectious diseases problem. We need to look at social determinants, inequalities in the social world. We need to look at vaccine acceptance and vaccine hesitancy. So these are a lot of social dimensions to infectious diseases that we need to tackle. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, so that's why SoNAR-Global was born. SoNAR-Global is a 15-partner consortium of institutions and organizations. Mahidol University is one of them, and I lead the Mahidol collaboration. It is a global network of social scientists for preparedness and response to infectious diseases threats. I had to correct here, it's not quite a global network of social scientists, it's the global network of people who work on the social sciences and with an interest in social sciences. I can't consider myself a social scientist actually. My basic degree is pharmacy and I have a PhD in pharmaceutical technology. But what makes us unique is a network of networks. So as I said, social scientists, institutions, organizations, and people who are working on the social sciences. It could be epidemiology, bioethics, etc. So together we create field-based tools and models to identify locally meaningful categories of vulnerability and to build engagement models that can bolster resilience of marginalized and excluded people. If you take COVID, who are the most vulnerable people? It is not obvious, isn't it? So this is what some of our SoNAR-Global partners are working on. Next slide, please. So who are we? There are many partners. I just want to highlight that this is led by Institute Pasteur. So maybe Dr. GB will know this person. This consortium or the SoNAR-Global Network is led by Tamara Gilvernick from Institute Pasteur. And now we have 15 countries and Thailand is one of the original partner in this application. Next slide, please. So what do we do? There are three main things. The first is we develop a platform for people to join as a member. Anyone can join. Anyone with an interest in social science dimensions of antimicrobial resistance, of infectious diseases are welcome to join. It's a simple joint registration form. It's free, and yeah, so one of the main things is just create a network so that we know who's out there working on social aspects of infectious diseases. The second is to create regional hubs, and I'll talk a little bit about regional hubs later. And the third thing is we have tools for practical tools for the social sciences in the field. And you can see that on the website as well. Next slide, please. Right, so a little bit about the AMR Regional Hub in Thailand. AMR stands for Antimicrobial Resistance, and early this month, we had the National AMR Week as well as International AMR Week. Thailand, or Bangkok rather, we focus on the social dimensions of antimicrobial resistance, so this is our thematic hub. It's not so much a regional hub, it's a thematic hub really, because with COVID, we know that we live in a virtual world now. It used to be a geographically thematic hub, but actually it doesn't matter anymore where you sit. The objective of this hub is to develop collaborative research and engagement strategies to curb the spread of AMR, particularly but not limited to Southeast Asia. But it is a problem in Southeast Asia. In Thailand, it's quite an issue as well. What are our aims? To identify existing research gaps in AMR, especially the social science aspects. Why do people buy antimicrobial drugs over the counter? Why do people take and abuse antimicrobials? Second objective is to create or update an AMR stakeholder map. Thirdly, to create AMR engagement strategies with stakeholders and communities, and to co-create context-specific solutions relevant to local communities. The key word here is to co-create, because a lot of top-down approaches we know hasn't worked because AMR is still a problem. Next slide, please. So our regional hub started early this year, 2020. It was the first meeting was held in Mahidol University in January 2020, just before lockdown. And this meeting inspired a special issue on the social dimensions of AMR in the journal Antibiotics. It is still accepting papers, so please feel free to submit your article if you have one. And we also have organized a symposium entitled Social Dimensions of AMR at the JITMM conference. This is a virtual conference now. It used to be held in Bangkok and with Mahidol University as the main organizer. We will have our next regional hub meeting virtually, and this is for consultation on a training course on the social dimensions of AMR. If you're interested, please feel free to contact me or my colleague here, Tasawan. Next slide, please. So last but not least, I would like to say, please join us. The Sona Global Network is a unique opportunity to have social science input, to interact with social scientists or people working in the social sciences. Join as a member here, and you can also join our regional hub activities. Why? Because a lot of you here are basic scientists or biomedical scientists, but it's a chance to connect with social scientists to work on infectious diseases. You can access a lot of webinars, training, resources, and even when we are allowed to, again, we can have face-to-face meetings. And these meetings, these regional meetings are funded by the Horizon 2020. So we have 15 to 20 places, free places for people to join and then to collaborate. So next slide, please. This is my last slide, so do get in touch and I'm happy to take questions. What I'm gonna do is try and log in again with my computer so that you can see me, but it might not work. But I'll have both open. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cheah. And of course, this is a fantastic opportunity. Sorry, I have switched my camera as well. This is a fantastic opportunity to build your network in Thailand with researchers and institutions that have a European network. So you don't always just have like Jibby move to Brussels or travel to Brussels, but you know, start within your own country, start within your own organization and speak to your colleagues and build up your network as you go along. So we have quite a few questions. I'm just trying to get through this here to see whether Dr. Cheah is joining us again.
So I'm here with audio only. I can't get the camera to work, so never mind.
That's fine. Maybe the first question is, how did your institution get involved in this project? Of course, people are very excited to hear about this. How did you become part of this consortium?
Well, probably like most people, I was in one of my projects. I invited a social scientist from Amsterdam to help out. This was a community engagement project in Cambodia. I mentioned the village drama against malaria project. So we needed a social scientist on the ground. So Amsterdam is a partner in this project. And then when they were putting in these grants, invited by Tamara from Pasteur Institute, they said to me, we need a partner in Southeast Asia. Would you like to join? Then I said yes. It was as simple as that. No magic there. It's previous collaborations and connections.
Thank you so much. And how is this collaboration different from other collaborations that you've been involved in? This is a question from a researcher as well.
Oh, I'm not sure it's all that different. It is quite a big. There are many partners, 15. So that's the difference. And I've never been involved in such a huge collaboration before. So there's a lot of coordination, a lot of meetings. But other than that, it's the same as other types of collaborations. There are a lot of some meetings. There are a lot of interdisciplinary discussions. And what's interesting for me personally is that, as I said, I'm not a social scientist. I have a pharmacy degree and a bioethics degree. It's quite nice to have interactions with a lot of social scientists. We tend to look at biomedical problems as numbers and quantifying things, but actually a lot of behavioral aspects are so important. You can have the best vaccine in the world for COVID, but if people don't want to take them or are afraid of them, then we have a problem, right? So that's the main difference, is the social science aspect, but the mechanics of the collaboration is about the same.
Thank you so much. And maybe a question also to you, and maybe also to Dr. Jibi, because she's involved also in the RISE project. Someone is wondering, how do you keep the balance between your teaching commitments and your commitments of working in or being a researcher in an international collaboration, in an international consortium? Dr. Cheah, do you want to answer this quickly?
Yeah, sure. I don't do that much classroom teaching. I'm very lucky. I do have students. So PhD students are part of the projects. I try and get them involved in the projects. So they help me in the projects, and then sometimes if the projects allow, they can use the data from certain projects. So it's kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Dr. Jibi?
And for me too, NASTA, we don't really have classroom to teach, but we do have a PhD student or a master student to tutor, but we don't really participate much in the classroom. So that's also a plus for doing research.
Narisorn, would you have something to add here?
Yes, I'm also lucky as well, because we have only graduate students here in my institute. However, I talked to our colleagues from Mahidol University. She is from the Faculty of Engineering, so she has the teaching class as well for the undergrad student. With this one, yes, she can talk to the head of the department and assign the job as well, so she can do more research with the lift for mobility. And I think, yes, we can negotiate with the internal mechanism of each university, talk to the head of the department what we gonna do for the department and what we're gonna do for the university, especially to stronger the research.
Thank you so much. Now we've almost reached the end of today's webinar, but maybe if I just briefly summarize. I mean, all of you have shared how this has been a really fabulous opportunity for your career advancement. You've used the opportunity to take your career into a new direction with this fellowship and with the opportunity to join European-led research consortium, which really, as we've heard from Dr. Cheah, is opening up an entirely new network for her to carry out her research. All of you have said there is lots of information online. And again, at the end, I'll just give a brief introduction to the EURAXESS portal. But we have you here. You are, I think, the best examples for our researchers that are joining today to find out more. I know that all of you are very generous with your time and with your advice. So I think I'd like to invite everybody to just contact the alumni network, contact Dr. Narisorn, who is the country rep for Thailand. And I know Gibi too would be more than happy to share some advice on how to start this process of applying for a fellowship. And I think this is the perfect way for me to lead to our final presenter today, Dr. Patapon Suntarasai, I hope I pronounced it correctly, who is the national contact point for Horizon 2020 in Thailand. So she, of course, is the expert, and she has advice for Thai researchers that are looking to join European Research Consortia, and she can give advice. So, and with this, I'd like to give the floor to Dr. Pat to deliver her closing remarks.
So thank you, Susanne. Good afternoon to everyone. Like Susanne introduced me, I'm Dr. Pat Suntarasat, a national contact point of Thailand for the Horizon 2020 program. I would like to make this closing short but useful. First of all, this European Research Day has been the great event we have spent together. I have learned a lot, and I especially want to thank everybody who served as our speaker for today's afternoon sessions on the topic of roundtable discussion with fellow and project holder, Dr. Png Yong Chia, Dr. Kitiyanant, and Dr. Nam Prashan. Moreover, I would like to pass my high gratitude to the European Union Delegation to Thailand, the National Science and Technology Development Agency or NSTDA, Mahidol University, and EURAXESS ASEAN to co-host this European Research Day event. Second, as we have learned, there are plenty of Thai success stories through various programs, such as the Marie Curie Fellowship Program, the International Research Consortium of Collaboration, and so on. And there will be the new funding opportunity available for Thai researchers to partner and to collaborate with European researchers through an EU Research and Innovation Investment Framework for the periods of 2021 until 2027, namely Horizon Europe, at the budget of 100 billion euro, and it will be officially launched January next year. So I would like to encourage you all, let us keep ourselves active and start preparing from now on. Third, there are plenty of support available to researchers in Thailand, including the NCP network, the Thai alumni of European funding programs, and as well as the special research support units at your institute. For example, a NSTDA Research Support Office, an Office of Research Support Service at Faculty of Tropical Med, Mahidol University, a SoNAR-Global Research and Innovation Programs at Eurwilaichitr University, and so on. Last but not least, today's event might be over. However, let it not be an ending. Let us keep the momentum. Let us do something while we have the chance. Let us start working together on bringing our research and innovation collaboration to serve our society and people needs with strong visibility and impact for the future of Europe, for the future of ASEAN, for the future of Thailand, and for the future of all mankind. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Khap khun ka. These were very beautiful closing words. Thank you so much. And of course, as we've had, the European Commission is just about to launch the next framework program for research, science and innovation, Horizon Europe. And the good news is that Marie Curie will have just as important part in this budget as it had in the previous 7 years. So the opportunities that we're talking about today, the postgraduate fellowships, the staff exchanges, the PhD opportunities are there, the funding is there. And as we've heard from Dr. Pat, this is a great opportunity for Thai researchers to apply for this money, to go to Europe, to develop your career and to build this collaboration between Thailand and the international research community. So with this, I think it's time for us to close. I'd like to thank all of the presenters. I know they're all obviously very busy, super excellent researchers. So thank you all for taking the time to speak. Thank you all for joining us today and listening. You will all receive a recording of this webinar and you will receive the webinar slides. And in the slides, you will have the contact details of everyone who's spoken today. And of course, all the links to the information on the fellowships with advice on how to apply for them, and also the contact details of us at EURAXESS ASEAN. And we're always available to give you a supporting hand and getting you on the right path. And I think with this, we'd like to thank you once again. Have a wonderful evening in Thailand and good luck to everyone. Stay safe, stay happy. We'll see you very soon. Thank you so much. Goodbye.